me to the
Oh, shit. I love it when those people come to my door.
I was trying to be nice, but then halfway through the conversation, I realized I was wearing my pentagram hoodie.
Awesome.
You should have offered to donate it to their homeless shelter drive.
My mother-in-law, whenever Mormon missionaries come and knock on the door, she doesn't really listen to what they have to say, but she puts them to work, like in her yard and shit. It's hilarious. Oh, well, no, I'm not really interested in that, but could you help me move this firewood? And it's so fucking funny.
Have you guys ever seen Dogmight?
Yes.
I actually pulled that on a Jehovah's Witness one time and made her question herself, and her friend got pissed at me. Because they asked me, what would Jesus think of the world today? And I told them that basically he'd be pissed at all Christians for all the stuff they've done in his name over the years.
No shit.
Because he just wanted to unite the Jews under a better uniform and love and whatnot. And she's like, fuck, what have we done? And like walked off.
My entire life's a lie.
It's like, actually, yes, it is.
Hey, I'm ordering a cheap webcam because there's something messed up with the thing itself. So I'll be back on Facecam probably on Wednesday, but at least by next week. So.
Okay. Oh, so you have a hardware failure, huh?
From what I can tell, because everything else is normal, and yeah, so weird.
There you go. So, welcome to Storm King's Thunder. We'll be picking up where we left off last week. A quick recap. Well, we'll get to the quick recap in a second. Before we get started, I'd like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. If you're watching on Twitch, scroll down. You should see some tiles there. Each of those tiles will take you to a different webpage. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just companies that we really like. Today we would like to thank the Fable Beard Company. They make beard products such as oils, balms, butters, and co-wash. They also have a full line of deodorant and body wash that they've come out with. And now they are coming out with spray-on colognes. Each of their scent profiles is a different fantasy character. Today I am wearing Dr. Wolf, which is, it's Dr. Wolf Beard Butter to be exact. It is a blueberry and tobacco scent that is probably my new favorite scent. It is so incredibly good. I'm sure that they have a fantasy character that would match your scent likeness. If you are a first-time purchaser, they do have a buy one, get one free option. Just go to fablebeardco.com, create an account, and when you are ordering, you can put 2 beard oils or a beard product and a beard oil into your cart, and if you use the code FIRST in all capital letters, that second beard oil will be discounted to free. If you're a fan of our Traveler game on Wednesday nights, we do have a website via Obsidian Portal. The website, the adventure log on the website is written in the manner of Traveler News Service articles, and it details the Trojan Reach region as a whole rather than following just what the characters do. So a lot of those news articles may be things that it could be like the aftermath of, in the wake of the character shenanigans, or it could be just a geopolitical situation that may affect them indirectly. Of course, if the travelers do something newsworthy, then of course that will make it into the headlines. If you enjoy the content, please give us a thumbs up on the front page. We like to see the fan likes, and we hope you enjoy the content. So, what happened last week? God, it seems like last week was so long ago. I don't know. It's been a long week. So, our heroes escaped from the Eye of the Allfather, and when they got out, there was an airship floating in the air, piloted and crewed by members of Cult of the Dragon. And the Cult of the Dragon informed these guys that they and the airship were a gift from the great worm Klauth to aid them in their travels, and that if they are able to fix this whole situation with giants once they have completed their quest to fix this with the whole thing, to come back to Clouthen Vale, and the Great Worm, also known as Old Snarl, will gift them a reward from his hoard. Aside from that, the players then decided to take them up on their offer, and they used the airship to travel to Grudd Haug. And Grudd Haug was kind of like a gigantic beaver dam with a giant hill giant steading perched atop it. And they proceeded to demolish Grudd Haug. Zinquinal, with her shape water ability, washed out the foundation, and the whole thing collapsed and went downstream. And they put an end to Chief Guh. But they did learn that Chief Guh was not in possession of the conch of teleportation anymore, which they need in order to teleport to Maelstrom, which is the kingdom of the Storm Giant court, and King Hecaton's court. And she had made a deal with a fire giant named Duke Zalto. And she gave the conch to Duke Zalto, believing that it was in the best interest, since Duke Zalto, no pun intended, blew smoke up her ass, to convincing her that he would use the conch teleportation to not only rise up fire giants in the Ordning, but also he would bring hill giants along with him. He even went so far as to promise Chief Guh that she would become one of his wives. And he left with the conch. They did learn that he left with the conch and took it to some place called Ironslag. And now they are back aboard the airship. They did rescue a halfling that was in the process of being cooked alive on a spit, named Roderick Hilltopple, and they brought him with them back to their airship. They haven't had much of a chance to really get to know him yet, because they were frantically running as Grudd Haug collapsed and was washed down a river. So you are back on... Hold on here. Shit. I have to go back and find this page. Here, I thought I was doing good. Okay. I have to go back and look at Roderick, because I forget what he knows.
Roderick knows all.
Yeah.
Roderick knows he's about to be a meal. That's what he knows.
Yeah, I don't think he knows a whole lot. I was going to modify him just a bit. Let's see, he was in 5. Here we go. Here he is. He is a Strongheart halfling. Now that you are on the airship, and the airship has the dragon cultists have lifted it up. It is sitting a good 500 feet above the ground, floating over what was Grudd Haug, and you can kind of see the devastation. It does concern you a bit, because you're watching as Grudd Haug, the timbers that made up the dam that was the foundation of Grudd Haug, you can see these timbers being washed down river. I mean, they're going to be somebody else's problem. But at least you have dealt with the hill giant threat. And you're up on the deck, and you guys are all catching your breath, and Roderick turns to Weeben and Smokey, and he says, "Oh my God, thank you for rescuing me. Whew, that was a close call." What do you guys want to... Do you have any questions for Roderick, or...
How did he get captured?
He says, well, I was out tending a flock of sheep, and these hill giants came, and they didn't take just my sheep, they took me too. Those fat bastards will eat anything. He says, but I'm not really a shepherd by trade. I was just doing it to help out a lovely halfling lass that I met in the countryside.
How long did they have you?
He says, oh, I was only there for about 3 days before Chief Grudd decided that I was going to be the next tender morsel on her plate. But, I mean, can you blame her? Look at me. I'm magnificent.
Wow.
And he kind of bows and he says, unfortunately, I don't have my lute or I would sing a song of your bravery. I'm a bard by trade.
Well, fair bard, do you happen to know anything that would be of use to us?
So he says, indeed I do, indeed I do. Let me see about a map.
So when you say tend the sheep, what were you really doing?
He says, well, like I said, she was a sweet young girl, and, she needed help. Her parents died and left her the farm, and, I figured I'd stick around and help out. I could have swore that I put this other... I guess I did. That's okay. So he tells you that... he says, I was in the cages in the kitchen, and I overheard Duke Zalto when he came. I didn't see him, but I could smell the fire and brimstone. You know how fire giants smell. And it, I couldn't really tell if for sure that he was a fire giant, but the smell gave it away. And he said, he overheard the conversation. He says, you see, I speak a bit of giant myself. And he says, evidently, Duke Zalto has taken over Ironslag, and it's on a mountain known as Ice Peak. Ice Peak Spire, to be exact. And he tells you, since I don't have the map, I'm going to have to look at the map. I would have the entire map, but it is so big that Roll20 literally chokes and tells me that I need to make it a smaller size. So the funny thing about where Ironslag is located is that you were kind of already in that area. So Ironslag is to the east. It is at the very edge, just on the other side edge of the... so you got the Spine of the World to the west, and then there is the Durawood, and then the Icespires, and Ironslag is in the Icespires, and it is a ancient dwarven forge from the Delzoun Empire. And multiple dwarven kingdoms, specifically like Citadel Felbar, has tried to go in and retake Ironslag. For one reason or another that you're not quite sure of, Citadel Felbar has always failed in trying to retake Ironslag. But Duke Zalto and his fire giants evidently came in and took it over. And it is rumored that at the base, or at the very bottom of Ironslag, is an adamantine forge. And Zalto is in the process of trying to rebuild something from the ancient Delzoun Empire. And Roderick tells you that evidently Duke Zalto made a deal with drow from House Tolarian. And these drow have snuck into Gauntlegrim with a iron flask. And evidently these infiltrators intend to steal Megara, who is the primordial that fuels the forges of Gauntlegrim. So imagine a fire elemental that is godlike, and that is what Megara is. And their plan is to contain it inside this iron flask and bring it to Duke Zalto, and he plans to release it inside the adamantine forge to rebuild whatever it is that he's wanting to rebuild. Now, all of you, without even having to make a history check, are aware of the story of Gauntlegrim, that Brunner Battlehammer died at Mithril Hall, and then somehow was resurrected, and he and Drista Urden and other companions retook Gauntlegrim, and he rebuilt and revitalized the ancient dwarven hold, basically the promised land. And the primordial is the main source. I mean, if you can go to Gauntlegrim, and if you are good if you're in good with Brunner, his forges, he can forge magical items, magical weapons and things. It's very bad. It's not a good thing that this has happened. So he says, I personally wouldn't want to be with you guys if that's where you're planning to go, but I overheard some mention between all of you that you're after the conch of teleportation, and the bad news is that Chief Gug gave the conch of teleportation to Duke Zalto. So if you're looking for it, Ironslag is where it will be. So, what is your guys' plan? He has stated that he really doesn't want to travel with you guys. He has no desire to go to Ironslag.
I'm gonna kill everybody and take over the forge. I like the sounds of that forge.
He tells you, he says, if he points down, he leans over the deck railing and he points down. He says, if you could set me down on that hill right over there, I'd be happy to go back and try to round up some more sheep to help that poor halfling lass.
Oh, come on, man. Don't you want to come along? It'll be fun. You can write a song.
Get him a big speaker so he can, bardically inspire from far long distances for the ship.
That's actually not a bad idea. Well, first of all, for their bravery in attempting to rescue Roderick at all, Smokey and Weeben both get an inspiration point.
Yay, thank you.
And all of you...
Cool.
So, Roderick, he reaches down his pants and is rummaging around, and you're looking at him like, dude, right here? Whoa, come on. And he's rummaging around and he pulls out a mouth harp. And he says, it's not much, but this is all I've got left for my musical instruments until I can get myself another lute. And he says, I can give you all a charm. And he goes, oh, and he goes, bow, 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 bow. And everybody receives a charm of the Slayer. One weapon in your possession gains Giant Slayer for 9 days. And then it vanishes from you.
Awesome.
So then I have to look up. On here. Well, first I have to remember my ABCs.
Well, guys, we better not get there on day 10. That's all I'm trying to say.
Giant takes an extra 2d6.
Yes.
Succeed on DC 15, saving throw, or fall prone.
Yes. That one weapon of your choice gains Giant Slayer. For 9 days. So essentially, it'll probably be good for this next... It'll be good long enough for this next leg of travel, and it'll be good through the end of Ironslag. We'll just put it that way. I think it would be hilarious if Weeben put it on his dagger. Go up and poke giants in the toe.
I mean, it's going to be on my rapier, which looks not much different. I'm going to be poking them with it.
True.
It's going to be poking their feet.
So yeah, Roderick gives you your charm and says, please, if you can, just set me down over there on that hill. And Delphine, the captain of the cultists, kind of looks to you like, is that what you want me to do? Or
I mean, if we are dropping them off, I can fly down and drop them off so we don't have to land the ship. We can just keep going.
Oh, all right.
I can just dip down, drop them off, and fly right back up.
Okay. So
make sure you actually put him on the ground. Don't just leave him.
yeah, here you go.
He can survive
Right here.
Rock and roll, buddy.
He can survive 15 foot.
So he,
All
yeah.
off the house.
You fly down and drop off. Before leaving, he shakes all of your hands and says, if you're ever in the area, you might try to look me up. I usually tend to be in the larger cities. Those taverns, that's where I make my money. And then Steve flies him down, and Roderick is waving to you guys as you head off. So, are you heading straight east or northeast towards Ironslag? Is that your general plan? You tell Delphine where you want to go, and she'll make it happen.
I don't know anywhere else to go.
Yeah, I mean, without the conch, you're kind of stuck. Sorry, what was that?
I was just wondering if we need any supplies. Do we need to restock anything? Do we need to buy anything? Are we good on potions and stuff?
Yeah. Steve votes Vegas.
I'm not going to Vegas.
I got 50 gold in my pocket. And
Are we gonna fly?
Oh, my name.
Are we gonna fly right up to it, or are we gonna park away a little bit away, like we did with the Grudd Haug?
Well, that's something that you'll get a chance to really discuss once you're closer.
Okay, cool.
Because you'll see some. You'll have more of a tactical view. Where did my map go? I believe Silvery Moon is on the way. If you wanted to stop, let's see here. Grudd Haug. Man, it's almost exactly northeast. I mean, it is a straight line. Yeah, Silvery Moon's on the way. Everlund is on the way. In fact, if you go directly northeast, Everlund will be directly underneath you. So that would be a good spot to land. if you so choose. If you want to resupply, that is.
I was going to ask, that sounds like a city.
It is. That it is. And I thought
Well,
I do.
we don't have a lot, but we got a couple little things in the party kitty we can divide up the gold if we stop there.
Sure. Okay. So
He's looking for rumors too, or something.
So it will take approximately 5 days to fly. Well, it'll take 7 days if you stop in Everlund to make it to Ironslag. So you tell Delphine, and she sets her crew to work. And on the journey you go. And about 5 days in, or well, 4 days into it, you are over Everlund. And this is what the city of Everlund looks like. Oh my god, I just had it and I scrolled too fast and now I'm lost again in my own maps. Here we go. So this is the city of Everlund. There is a map key in the lower left-hand corner that tells you the various gates and locations. Now, one of the things that you also know is that in Everlund, let's see, there is... Just have to see where it's at. So in the number 7, the Moongleam Tower, there is a teleportation circle. It is a part of the teleportation circle network that would allow you to, and you've got keys to all of these locations, teleport around the Sword Coast. I mean, not that that's really necessary since you have an airship, but if you need to instantly be someplace, that is one such location that you can make that happen.
Is the teleportation circle in the tower or outside the tower?
It is in the tower at the very top.
Oh.
Guarded by mages.
If it's outside, we could just park the airship on there and teleport it with us?
Yeah, no. So, you, let's see, what is number 8? So, this, number 8, is the Bell Market, an open-air market that has enough space for you to land your airship. And, of course, at first, as you're coming down, the town militia are kind of running around panicking that this airship is coming in. They don't see a whole lot of airships here in Everlund. But several of the, or a couple of the dragon cultists lean over the side and wave, white flags, showing that, you mean no harm. And as they get lower, the cultists are yelling over the side, "Oh, we're just here to do some shopping, just a quick stopover." And so they... Yeah?
Steve can lead down, go down below and circle, and as he's going down, just like, "We come in peace."
Okay, so yeah, you sat down in the market, and many of the market stalls, the people that are running the market stalls are kind of in awe of your airship, and they lower, the cultists lower a gangplank, and you can walk out. Luckily, you're in the market, so there are many stalls here to shop at. What are you looking to purchase? You probably, the standards, of course, would be, more rations, probably arrows and crossbow bolts,
and daggers,
possibly daggers, and of course, don't forget, you probably want to spend some gold on re-upping your spell agents, or your reagents. I would say that on the average, I would say that each person probably spends 15 gold replenishing things. Anything extravagant for reagents, or if you want daggers and things like that, may cost whatever it is, whatever the cost list is out of the player's handbook.
Chris, I'm not sure the cost on it. It's an armor of poison resistance, or leather armor poison resistance.
Okay. So you're wanting to sell that?
Yeah, I got that. Gold ring for 75 gold, and then the rest is just gold and platinum or whatnot. They'll divide up.
So yeah, you can sell the ring, no problem. Make an investigation check.
Anybody else want to come with the stoner to go sell loot?
Even definitely.
78.
That's actually pretty good. Ooh. You can sell the leather armor of poison resistance for 1,400 gold.
Oh, that's a nice little chunk of change. Do some math.
And while you're dividing that up, I will be right back.
Does anybody else have anything they want to sell?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Where's my calculator? Everybody's here today, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's going to be 35 copper apiece. Say 24 silver. Um, 246 gold.
Thanks for the math.
Okay.
3 electrum.
Gotta save that electrum.
And another 3 platinum.
Electrum is 5 gold apiece, right?
Correct.
Okay, so another 15 gold.
Yeah, that
We
works.
don't like Electrum.
Electrum, this is like Canadian coinage.
How much would it be to get a magical scimitar?
Make an investigation check.
Soft 20.
Ooh. You can find a +1 scimitar for 300 gold.
Deal.
If possible, while looking around doing the selling, Steve wants to see if he can find a what the hell is it? I think I needed breastplate armor.
Are you looking for magic breastplate, or are you just looking for breastplate?
Either one at the moment. Either one. He's not a picky guy.
Yeah, you can find regular breastplate for the cost out of the player's handbook.
Is there magical anywhere?
Make an investigation check.
Pirates investigation. Yeah, probably not with the 3.
No. Yep. So basically, these investigation checks are that you have found. This is something that you can find in most fairly large cities. It is some kind of auction that is going on. Usually, these auctions are kind of on the down low. So, for instance, if Weeben is making an investigation check, he would probably have advantage if he were to try and ingratiate himself with the local thieves guild, things like that. But these are usually black market underground type auctions that go on. Usually part of the criminal. There's some kind of ties to, the thieves guild or the Zentrim or what have you, but they are really for the truly wealthy, because they're the only ones that can afford, to purchase black market magical items.
Now, seeing as I'm with Steve, I'm going to make that check at advantage because I'm also looking to perhaps procure a magical short bow to add a little bit of to my ranged attacks.
Okay, go ahead. So, so the first question is, are you trying to go... so in your case, are you trying to go through the
Zentrum?
Yeah, or of course the Zentrum has some kind of influence with the local Thieves Guild, but are you going through the Thieves Guild, or are you going to the same auction that the rest of these guys are going to?
I'm going to go through the Thieves Guild for information, because they would know about both, I'm sure.
Okay. So, make a persuasion check, first of all.
Okay. Is that an advantage or not?
No.
Okay. 24?
Shit. So, using thieves can't... You're in the market, and you kind of spot somebody, a low-level thug, and you kind of use thieves can't and persuade him to bring you into, the ingratiate yourself with the local thieves guild. They tell you, so you're you're from outside the city. You have obviously outed yourself as a member of the larcenous arts, and before they are going to bring you behind the scenes of this auction, so to speak, you're going to have to pay 100 gold piece fee to basically a membership due for operating in their city.
Is that how you treat vipers around here? Kind of throwing around my rank of viper in the guild?
They kind of chuckle and say, there are Zentrim agents here, but they don't control the Thieves Guild. And this guy just kind of, pretty much the guild master laughs and he says, your rank means nothing here.
Okay.
The Zentrim operate in my city as a kindness.
Noted. Okay. I'll be back in 10. I'm going to go fix some pockets. I'm not giving the money out of my own pocket.
Okay.
Can I go make how many sleight of hand checks do I have to make to pull that off?
Make 3 of them, and it's going to be... it depends. So are you wanting to pick pockets from what looks to be wealthy clients, middle-class clients, or the poor?
I'm assuming wealthy will get me to my 100 faster.
True. So DC 15, make 3 of those.
Okay. First one was a 25.
Okay.
Second one was a 29.
Okay.
Or 19, sorry, 19. Bad math. And a 16.
Okay. You make 160 gold.
Sweet. I'll pay him his 100.
He says, wait. So you went out, so you're operating in my city without paying the fee to operate in my city, and you then go out and steal the money from my people.
What are you talking about? I didn't steal from your people. I went out and made a few bucks.
Everybody in this city are my people. They're all under my protection.
I didn't steal. I made a few bargains. Did somebody told you I stole? Who saw me do it?
Make a persuasion check.
I didn't steal shit. What are you talking about?
We're about to lose
24.
Oh, it was DC 25. He says the fee your fee just went up to 200 gold. He's like, you're not allowed to operate in my city. If you're going to operate in my city, without paying the fee, people who've done that sometimes end up getting thrown off a bridge with an anchor tied around their ankles.
Since Steve is with Weaven, can Steve wants to pull out a bag and his special magic pipe and be like, can we just smoke a bowl and talk about this? We're not going to be here for a couple of days, like a day or two. Like, we're not going to be here long. But let's not make things out of proportion.
Oh, no. The 200 gold piece fee, that's for you to operate here. Once you leave the city, it's not a membership fee. This is an operational fee.
God. Damn it, I can't believe I missed that roll by 1. All right. Now I have to give him his gold.
Well, look at it this way. You're only out 40 gold.
I know, but principality doesn't matter.
So you give him his 200 gold, and he kind of weighs the bag, and he's like, excellent. And he's like, come with me, young man. I will show you a little behind the scenes magic. Go ahead and make an investigation check at advantage.
Okay. Unfortunately, investigation is not something I have a lot in, but I did get a 19.
Okay. Hold on here.
How much gold do you have, Steve?
I'm broke.
Oh.
My breastplate armor just tapped me out. It was 400.
The regular one, right? Not the gold, not the fancy one?
No, just a regular one. If I can barely afford a regular one, I doubt I'm getting a magic one.
I thought the whole point of us doing this was so we could try and get you the magic one.
I thought you wanted some magic one.
Magic one. I'll try to help you out too.
Well, let's assume I haven't bought it already. I got like 410 gold.
Gotcha, okay.
I'm poor.
He takes you back behind the scenes where they in their warehouse where they store a lot of this stuff. And there are some other people back here. You see an elderly man wearing gray robes and a gray hat, a pointy hat, the obvious wizard type with a long white beard. And he has a number of items under his arm. And the guildmaster goes over to him. One of the items that you see, or part of this bundle under his arm, there is a quiver with 5 arrows in it and a short bow. Very nicely made short bow, engraved, that, but not like, it's not elven. It looks like more like Uthgard barbarian type engravings on it. And he goes up to the gentleman and he says, "Oh, good sage." And the old man turns and he's smoking a pipe, a long, pipe. And he says, good sir. Is it really necessary that you take that bow and the quiver?" And the man pulls the pipe out of his mouth and he says, "Well, you know what my purpose here is. What is it that you would like this bow for?" And he says, "Well, you'll have to discuss it with this young man, but he's quite interested in that bow." And the old man looks at you, Weeben, and he says, What are you seeking to do with this bow?"
Well, we have some major good that must be done in the world. We must right some wrongs, topple some who would do evil in the world.
He looks at the...
Yeah.
Well, first of all, make a perception check.
Perception, okay. 14.
So you see there is he has a cloak pin on his robes that looks like a gold harp with a half moon behind it. It is the symbol of the harpers. And he says to you, and he looks at the tattoo on your arm, and he says,
I'm one of the Harpers.
He says, "I find it, do you say that? Do you openly say, well, I'm a part of the Harpers?"
Sure, why not? Steve don't give me no bucks.
So he said,
he
says, "How incredibly curious. It's unusual that a Harper and a Zentrim would work together, and no less that a Zentrim would be out doing great good in the world."
It's an odd, funny, odd couple romance, or not romance, odd couple kind of thing. I'm the messy one, he's the clean one.
He says,
to go up, you have to go down first.
"That's an interesting take on the matter. Tell me a little bit more about this great good that you're trying to do."
Go down first. That's quite a phrase.
Hey, you heard what you heard. I said what I said.
Yeah, he says, "Tell me a bit more about this great good that you're attempting to do."
I looked at Steve, I'm like, "Hey man, how much are we supposed to tell this guy?"
Well, it's not so much that we're trying to do great good, we're just trying to keep the world from imploding. I got a lot of business going on. If the world implodes, that's really going to hurt my bottom line.
He looks at Weeben and he says, "I've always been fond of the halfling folk, of the kin." He says, and he says, "I am aware, Mr. Weeben, that you are likely heading to investigate the disappearance of King Hecaton. Am I correct?"
Indeed.
Now, this should set you back a bit, because you haven't told anybody your name. I mean, the guildmaster probably knows your name, but he hasn't told this old man anything. The old man says,
That's like grumbly say indeed. I don't say indeed all happy. I'm like, indeed? Like, okay, clearly you know some things, so yeah, I'm not going to bother lying about it.
he says, "The ordering of giant kind having been broken is a matter that all of Faerun should be most concerned about." He says, "Take this as my gift. It'll serve you better than putting away in some musty dungeon somewhere." And he hands you the short bow. He says, "This short bow is a +2 short bow." And he hands you the quiver of arrows. The 5 arrows are 5 dragon-slaying arrows. And the quiver. Hold on here. I have to look at this. The quiver. The quiver is special. The quiver is a quiver of Elona. Each of the quiver has 3 compartments. Each of the 3 compartments connects to an extra dimensional space that allows the quiver to hold numerous items while never weighing more than 2 pounds. The shortest compartment can hold up to 60 arrows, bolts, or similar objects. The mid-sized compartment holds up to 18 javelins or similar objects. The largest compartment holds up to 6 long objects such as bows, quarterstaves, or spears. You can draw any item the quiver contains as if doing so from a regular quiver or scabbard.
How many of the bows, quarterstaffs, or other things you said?
Up to 6.
Okay. So up to 60 bolts, arrows, things like that.
Yep.
And you said how many?
18 javelins and 6 bows, quarterstaffs, or spears.
Weapons, basically. Okay. So basically all my weapons are in this thing now.
Right. And he says, accept this as a small gift and a token of my appreciation for not having to get involved in such things. If anybody asks, you can tell them that the Sage of the Dalelands sent this to you.
Sage of the Dalelands. Okay.
Does anybody know who the Sage of the Dalelands is?
I probably should have some knowledge of it, seeing as how I'm, emerald something? Emerald something?
Possibly. I would allow Scaly and possibly even Steve to make history checks.
No, that's not going to do it. Woohoo, 6.
That's going to be a whopping 14 for Steve.
And Steve, you know that Sage of the Dalelands is a nickname or phrase for the one and only Elminster.
Wow.
And so now that you've confirmed, so Steve, you've in your mind you're like, oh, and you've confirmed this. You're kind of you see this bundle of items, and it has been long rumored that one of the things that Elminster does, there's a reason why there are magic items littered throughout dungeons. To keep them out of the hands of the common folk, Elminster occasionally gathers up magic items and he goes out and he salts dungeons with them. Otherwise, you would have, farmers with +1 bows and, shepherds with +2 quarterstaves, things like that. And so a lot of this stuff ends up getting resalted into dungeons by Elminster himself.
So only murder hobos can access them.
Correct.
Good plan.
Well, his thought is the heroes of the world will have better access to them.
Yeah, street brawls in town would be a lot different if all the peasants had, badass weaponry.
Right. Exactly.
I would think it'd be much better if we just had to go beat up a farmer and take his +2 staff.
Right. Well, and there's also a reason why, people dying of old age is still a thing in D&D. Because, if some of these items were out and available, people would just live forever. I mean, look at Durnan, who runs the Yawning Portal Tavern. He's, what? He's got to be over 200 at this point. But he found a magic ring deep in the Undermountain that has him and and Mert the Moneylender both found items that promote longevity.
Gotcha. Well, That was, I guess, 200 gold wells, or 40 gold well spent.
Right? And so, does anybody else have anything that they want to purchase?
Well, Steve's with me, so I'm going to try and find out about getting him that plate mail, since, or the, whatever mail you wanted, armor.
Make
Magic.
a breastplate. Make an investigation check at advantage.
Well, I rolled one, so I got to re-roll them thanks to my luckiness.
Yes.
Once again, a 19.
So there is a +1 breastplate that if you want to trade it in, it'll cost you an additional 100 gold.
So basically, give up the current breastplate for the new breastplate at 100?
Correct.
I can do that. And now I'm super broke.
Money well spent for an extra 1 to your AC.
Extra 2.
Extra 2 to your AC.
That puts my AC at 18 now.
Because he went and bought the other breastplate, and now he's upgraded to the one. So before the breastplates at all, he was down 2.
Anybody else?
Before we came into town.
Does anybody else have anything that they're searching for?
Poison.
I'm happy.
You're looking for poisons.
In all of this adventure, I've had no poison as the most roguey player I've ever played.
Yeah, you can buy poison. Hold on here. So a basic vial of poison will run you 100 gold. The Thieves Guild here has 30 vials of poison. It does. Creature hit by a poisoned weapon or ammunition must make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw or take 1d4 poison damage. And once applied, the poison retains potency for 1 minute before drying. So you've got, if you apply it to a weapon, it's got 10 rounds before it dries or until you hit somebody with it. And then they have to make a DC 10 cons check or take 1d4 poison damage.
How much for a poisoner's kit?
Is there such a thing?
Something like that. I forget exactly what.
I think it's all part of an herbalism. Oh no, poisoner's kit. They'll sell you a poisoner's kit for 50 gold pieces. But are you proficient with poisoner's kit? Let's see here. Includes vials, chemicals, and other equipment necessary for creation of poisons. Proficiency with this kit lets you add your proficiency. Oh, so it just lets you add your proficiency bonus to any ability checks you make to craft or use poisons. So you can use it without proficiency.
And what check would that be? Which would that be? Intelligence or wisdom or what?
Nature.
Nature? That's intelligence. Okay. Do we have anybody else in the party who's really good at nature stuff?
I mean, you got druids and rangers.
I'm a ranger, so I can help, but...
Can I talk to you to make me poison?
Sure.
Eyebrow.
I'm not very smart, so it shouldn't be very hard. Let's see. I don't have that good a nature skill, actually. Shit. Never mind.
A ranger with no nature skill. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, I can help with maybe a survival or a help action, and then I can be ready with lesser restoration if someone gets accidentally poisoned in the making.
So basically, it's going to be 2 checks. One is a survival check to find the ingredients. The next is the nature check to actually make the poison, which would be a downtime activity.
I can help with the survival, but not the nature part.
Yeah, neither one of us are really good in nature either. I think we're each a +1.
Same, I survived a +5 and 0 in nature.
So getting the ingredients not hard, and then Weeben just has to be lucky when it comes to making it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Okay. 50 gold pieces.
Done.
Okay. All right. So with you guys finishing up your time here at Everlund, you board back in and you head towards Ironslag. Here.
And I tell them all about how I met this crazy old guy who had all these things, and it was amazing. You should have seen all the stuff he had. It was so cool. You guys should have come with me. I picked all those pockets for gold, and then they took it all back, the bastards.
Yeah.
Yes, it didn't happen.
Let's see.
What'd you say?
Pictures, or it didn't happen.
Oh, picture didn't happen.
So another 3 days,
I could have drawn it.
and as you're approaching the Icespire peaks, you can see that it almost at first looks like there's an active volcano on the horizon. There's a big plume of black smoke coming up from one of these tall peaks. And as you get closer, you can see where the entrance to Ironslag is. And so this is kind of a diagram showing Ironslag, kind of a side view. And so down here where it says 12,000 steps at the bottom, you see that in the side of the mountain. So the first thing that you see from the air is way down at the bottom. There are these two adamantine doors that are like 40 feet tall that are shut in the side of the mountain. Then you see there are these steps. They call them 12,000 steps. They lead all the way up the mountain to the top, where you see that there is a village. And the village actually has tiered areas where they're growing crops. If you've ever seen like some of the Mayan ruins in like Peru, where they had tiered the side of this mountain for growing crops and whatnot, that's exactly what this looks like. And at the base of these tiers, there is a village with a wooden palisade around it. And you can see from the top that it appears in this village that there is an entrance that leads down into the mountain itself. And you can see that there's obviously, there is, the village is populated, but you're too far up to really get a close look, but you can see that there's people moving around down there.
12,000 steps. Did anybody bring a slinky?
My slinky overheated and died when it got to the bottom. So where would you guys like to land? Oh, and it should be noted, the people that you see in the village are medium-sized. They're not giants.
And that's on the, like, on the mountain, not in the mountain, right?
Right.
I mean, look, we got enough flyers and whatnot. We don't even have to land. We can just descend wherever we want if it's out in the open.
Yeah,
Or if
those
we like
things
that
are
airship can stay and we can go down.
Well, I don't know that Steve or Scaly is going to be able to carry Clitaris in her plate mail.
No, but, has anybody got
I've
that?
got scale mail.
Okay.
I mean, like, we got Featherfall. Like, I imagine somebody's got Featherfall.
As a paladin, I imagine that that Cletaris probably looks like Pam from Archer wearing scale mail. So-
I will use my mandolin to play a tune in a druid manner and cast levitate on her.
Okay, that works. Then you just push her along.
Then, apparently.
How high up are we?
You're like 300 feet above this village.
Oh.
And the
Actually,
Delphine is wanting to know where you would like to land. Essentially, I mean, the airship can drop you off on the 12,000 steps. They can lower rope ladders, and you can climb down. And the steps themselves lead right to this village. It leads right to the gate in the palisade. Or she says, you can land at the bottom and see about going in through those adamantine doors.
I'm thinking we just drop into the city and have her go park the car, and we'll catch up with her later.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Steve's lazy. You don't want to go 1,000 steps.
He is a pothead. Or Earphead, or whatever.
So as you get closer to this village, you can see, you're descending, you can see that, hold on here. You can start to see a little bit about these people that you see meandering around. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I know there are more. Here's one. Keep clicking on the wrong thing. So, throughout the village, you can see that these people are actually what kind of look like. Well, they're all very burly. At first, as you're lowering down, it looks like they might be wearing heavy fur cloaks, which makes sense because you're high up in the mountains. But then as you get closer, you realize that they are wearing leather-type clothing, but the fur that you're seeing is actually a part of their body, and their heads are heads like yaks. These people are what would be referred to as Yakfolk.
I want to go find the guy whose last name is Smirnoff.
And they set you the airship sets you down on the 12,000 steps, fairly close to the village, and it kind of, as you can see, it meanders around and comes up to these big doors in the palisade is where they end up here. There is a bridge that crosses, and you can see that this is a wooden rope bridge. Apparently, there was another bridge here, but even from the air, you can tell that the timbers and whatnot were old and rotted, and it finally gave way and collapsed. There's a waterfall here that is turning an extremely large water wheel, and the bridge just collapsed. It looks like this rope bridge is a newer construction. And so you are set down here on the 12,000 steps and are making your way up closer to the village. Dun, dun, dun. Hold on here. And where you're looking around the village, where you see, like, for instance, this guy here, you see there are a number of other humanoids around these areas. And from the air, you can't really see a whole lot, but you can tell that they're not quite dressed as well as the Yakfolk. They appear that they are wearing little more than burlap sacks with armholes cut in them, which you find a little bit weird considering, the cold weather. But these people don't appear. They're tending crops and whatnot. And like, for instance, this example here, this is actually, you see that it is a large iron cage.
Can we see what's inside?
You don't see anything inside the cage. But you do see these people wearing like burlap sacks that are tending these crops. And then you see a Yakfolk that's standing there. He doesn't appear to be tending crops at all. He just appears to be standing there.
The people in sacks, do they look like they're wearing like any chains, collars?
You can't really tell from up here.
Yeah, it sounds like some slavery shit going on.
We're not sneaking up, are we? Can I go like, what's the cage for? Or
Hold on here. I have something fun and interesting for you. I think it's fun and interesting, but mostly because I don't get to use it very often. Everybody make a perception check, and I will give you advantage on the perception check because you may have noticed it as you were coming in.
$14, my bad.
Soft 20 for Steve.
Okay.
17.
7, I know all the things.
21 for guitars.
Okay. So you do notice it as you are coming in to Ironslag. So if you look on the on the right side of this mountain's face, you'll see that there is a little cave here, which you were dropped just below that. And you see something flying, come into and go into that cave. And as you are making your way up the mountain, you're going to go past that cave. And you kind of start to smell something on the air, like, and it doesn't smell like yak. It smells more like rotting meat, like something has been layering there for a while. And it suddenly becomes aware, you become aware of the fact that this is the lair of a chimera. Now, I have to make a roll. It is aware of you as well. And it has decided that you're going to make a pretty good lunch, maybe leftovers for dinner tomorrow. And so, give me just a moment here.
Did we notice it noticing us notice it?
It knows that you know that it knows that you are aware.
That it wants lunch.
That it wants lunch, right. And it clearly isn't going to allow you to walk up its steps. So everybody, roll initiative. Ugh, Scaly and Clitaris. What are you doing? And Smokey, come on!
I'll roll again if you want me to.
So
none of us are going first.
oops. Clitaris and Scaly, which one of you wants to go first?
I don't mind. You can go in. I'm going to be at range, so if you want to go
I
in and...
legit rolled a 1, so by all means.
Okay, I'll go first then.
Okay.
Yeah, if he's doing range, then he'll have open, then you can, so you won't be blocking. Does that make sense?
So our heroine, Zinquinal, actually gets to go first. Zinquinal, you are aware that this chimera is in its cave, and at the top right where this bend is the cave opening. What would you like to do?
Let's see. Excuse me. First, I think I want to try and mark it with Fairy Fire,
Okay.
which gives any attack roll on the creature advantage if the attacker can see it.
Okay.
It
And
is a DC 15 saving throw for Dex.
okay. Let's see. 17.
Dang it! I wanted to make him glowy. Okay. In that case, I will just hit him with my magic floaty hammer.
Okay, so you are going to bonus
Using a
action
spiritual weapon.
spiritual weapon on him. Go ahead and make your attack. Nope.
Oh, 11. Probably not.
Nope. All right.
That was
Did
very
you
underwhelming.
did you want to move at all?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. You guys can go first. Steve,
Yeah.
what would you like to do?
Let's see. First, I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Hexblade's Curse on it.
Okay, so
Please give it disadvantage on wisdom checks.
A different type of curse.
Oh, that's the hex, not the curse hex.
Yeah, this is the regular, or this is my, non-spell curse.
Hexblade one.
Yeah, because it doesn't require concentration. So I'll do that, and then I will. So that was bonus action. For my main action, I will cast Spirit Shroud.
okay.
Or no, that's a bonus action too. Never mind. Yeah, let's hit it with an Eldritch Blast.
Go for it.
2 bolts. The lowest is a soft 20.
They both hit. Are you pulling it?
No, I will push it. I actually have both now.
Okay.
Push it, and that's gonna be
But are you going to push it real good?
Yeah.
20 total damage.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you pushed it real good.
Well, I guess since I hit it with 2 bolts, I could do 1 push and 1 pull. Since they're 2 separate actions. Just make it motion sickness. Just bat it around.
Give it a Roxbury.
That will be. Steve will use his wings and fly up to the upper platform.
Okay.
So that way we're not clustered together as bad.
Why would that be that?
Hey, y'all trying to grab my ass. I'm just trying to get away.
Hold on just a minute. I'm trying to do all the things. There we go. Okay. That's better. Okay. All right. Mr. Chimera. Is going to come out right there.
Oh, Chris, there should have been 6 more damage on that because of my proficiency bonus on the hex blade.
Okay, I can make that happen. Whoops, that's not what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out and no, that's not what I want either. Why is this not working? There we go.
I was gonna say the first one looked like a fart.
Yeah. So it breathes fire in a 15-foot cone.
So it just looks pretty?
Yeah, no, he's going to have to fly.
It's a warning shot.
Is there a dramatic height difference between the lower staircase and the upper staircase?
Kind of. It is 20 feet.
So I'll be out of the range.
So, let's see here. Everybody except for Steve make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw.
Can Steve use his reaction to try to roast a marshmallow?
I believe marshmallow roasting is probably a free action. Much like crying.
There's nothing like roasting a marshmallow on the body of your cohorts.
Right.
Thanks, bro.
I made it.
Okay. So,
Nat 20 for a 23.
okay. So, anybody who made it takes 16 points of fire damage. Everybody else takes 33.
My evasion lets me just take none of that, right?
If you made it, you take 0. If you missed it, you only take half. So you would take 16. Okay, so you take nothing.
Guys, you should have dodged.
That's what the Chimera does. Well, it still has... No, it's fine. Weeben, what would you like to do?
It's above us?
No, it flew out of the cave and landed at the top on this little rise here. Or this little bend.
So, I have to take off in just a minute here. Can I toss somebody my wand of lightning?
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to be able to do a turn.
Most certainly.
Toss it over to Weavin. So if you want it, it has 7 charges. So don't use them all.
Steve might be the better choice for that, because Weavin will have to make an Arcana check every time he uses it.
Oh, okay, Steve, here you go. Wand of Lightning.
Yeah, we've been like, what's this? What do I do with it?
I can take it, but I don't think I'll need it.
Wait,
I mean,
hold on to it just in case. That feels like famous last words. Have fun at the Derby race.
yes, have fun with the Pinewood Derby.
Have lots of fun. Look forward to hearing about it.
Good luck, no one die.
I find Pinewood Derby cars go faster if you put a blower on them.
How many charges does the wand have?
It currently has 7.
7. Thinking what, a 1d8? What's the damage?
8d6.
Oh shit.
Remember, don't use them all. Don't use them all.
Yeah, if you use the last charge, you have to roll a d20. If you roll a 1, it turns to ash.
Just be sitting in the back. Hey guys, check this out. Pew 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 pew. Aww.
How long does it take to regenerate charges?
It regains 1d6 plus 1 charges daily at dawn.
Okay. So in theory, you could get all of them back if you didn't use the last one.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, we've been going high because it's what Weavin does.
Okay.
Weavin probably didn't succeed at that with a 14.
So I will remove Smokey. So I'm sorry, what'd you get, Weavin?
A 14?
Okay. Drop 14 in there. Okay. So you are hidden. Well. Oh, no, you're not hidden. The Chimera has a passive perception of 18. You know, 3 heads and all.
Okay. Well, didn't succeed. Still going to try and attack anyway.
Okay.
Am I at disadvantage if I use a ranged weapon since I'm going through people?
Yes. You could move. Let's see here.
Or would I have to move to not be at disadvantage?
You could move up right next to Clitaris and not be at disadvantage.
And not be too close for range either?
No. Let me double check that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm standing next to the...
Yeah, you're fine. You're still 10 feet away from it.
Okay. I will do the thing then. And I missed. I rolled a 2.
All right. Clitaris,
I
you
didn't
are...
bother adding stats, I just said it's going to miss.
Clitaris, you are... I don't know, you might be closer than Weeben. Let's see. You are closer than Weeben. This Chimera is like right up in your grill.
It's in my face. Okay, so I don't have to move
No.
to do anything to him.
No, it conveniently came to you.
Nice. Well, I appreciate that. Although I did not appreciate the fire in my face.
He's already half trained. Let's tame him.
Ah.
Damn it, Steve.
He's just a puppy. He just needs a head, bro.
Yeah, he's got a goat head, a lion head, and a red dragon head.
Oh, no. I dropped a die. Okay. So he's considered evil, so I could smote him?
He is chaotic evil, yeah. He is a large monstrosity, so you don't get any additional dice on your strike, but...
Well, I'm going to attack him. Does a 19 hit him?
It certainly does.
Yeah, I would stack some smites on there. This is going to be a rough fight.
You know, this is what's...
Weeben's not within 5 feet of him, right?
He's 10 feet from him.
Okay, so...
This is one of the things I find funny about 5th edition. I remember in previous editions, chimeras, when you saw a chimera, you were like, oh shit, here we go. But 5th edition says that it's only a challenge rating of 6. And I'm like, that seems like a rather anemic chimera to me. But
Sneak will apply.
No.
Yeah, because he has no. If the enemy is by himself without any allies, your sneak will apply with Swashbuckler.
It does?
oh, and wait a minute.
The Swashbuckler.
Once we're done with Cleetaris, Weeben gets to remake his attack roll.
The Audacity. Pretty much as long as you're not surrounded, your sneak will always apply now.
Oh, okay. So my sneak attack does apply,
Yep.
and I'm going to smoke him.
Yep.
Okay. So, I get another just.
That's why I love Swashbuckler.
Okay. So with the smoke, with the sneak. 18 damage.
Okay.
And then second attack. Does a 12 hit it?
It does not.
Okay.
But Weeben,
Yes.
you get to remake your attack roll because Cleetaris was within 5 feet of him. You get advantage. Or I'm sorry, that doesn't mean advantage. It would just mean sneak attack. Never mind. My bad.
Okay.
So Cleetaris, did you use a bonus action to cast a smite spell?
I did my regular divine smite.
Okay. Scaly, what would you like to do?
I use my broom to fly up here,
Okay.
and I cast Polymorph on said Chimera.
What are you trying to polymorph it into?
A killer whale, because it's a lower challenge rating, and I want to kick the killer whale off the ledge.
What kind of save does he
Kick
get?
it down the stairs. Go, kick it down the stairs.
DC 16 Wisdom.
Sorry, I don't mean to talk with my mouth full, but my niece or my nephew and his girlfriend went to Chick-fil-A, so I'm eating some of the Christian chicken. Oh, fuck. The Chimera rolled a natural 1.
Nah, it's double killer whale.
It is an orca.
So, for next steps, the reason my plan works is I want to see in Hitchhiker's Guide when the killer whale falls from the sky. If you push it off the ledge, I just have to concentrate for however long it takes it to fall.
Right. So,
My turn's right around the corner. I'll be able to push it off with my Eldritch Blast.
So line yourself up to kick it off the ledge with 2 blasts, or we'll manhandle it off. We have an hour of being a killer whale.
so you gotta see this Chimera go whoop and turn into a orca that is at the top of these stairs. Anything with a bonus action, Scaly?
I laugh, I snicker. It's hardly controlled, and it's something I've always wanted to do, so I'm just gleefully relishing in my success. And yelling out, push him off! Push him off!
Zinquinol, what would you like to do?
Hold on, I'm looking at my wind control spells real quick. I think I can control wind. Oh, maybe not. Not yet. Gust of wind. Alright, so I'm gonna cast Gust of Wind.
And he now has a killer whale stats, so his dex bonus is 0.
Oh, but this is Gust of Wind is strength. How much strength does it?
Plus 4, but still, I mean, give it a go.
I might as well. So I'm gonna use Gust of Wind. It's a 10 strength.
Okay. 15.
Oh, okay.
Ew. Okay, then I'm just gonna hit the 4 killer whale with my spiritual weapon.
Okay, go for it.
Can't really do any of that if it's a grounded whale.
How,
That's true. It's not in the ocean.
how many hit points does a killer whale have?
90.
Okay, hold on. Take this, you dumb whale. 13.
AC is 12.
Okay.
Ah. Now, can I put my divine strike on my spiritual weapon?
I don't see why not.
Okay, because that's another D8.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 9 with the spiritual weapon, and 7 more for the D8 divine strike.
Okay. So you whack the killer whale.
And at this point, its dorsal fin leans over, like bends over, like Keiko from Free Willy.
It's a sad killer whale now.
Yeah.
It's a sad killer whale. Yeah, that's what I got.
And in the distance, we hear Michael Jackson singing.
The Simpsons episode where Moe has an underground ring where he's trying to deal in black market killer whales is hilarious. Quick, guys, the fuzz is onto us. We got to move him. And there's like 4 guys carrying this killer whale through town. It's hilarious. Okay. Wow. Steve the Devil.
Oh, let's see. Steve is going to fly over here next to Scaredy and blast him with Eldritch Blast and see if we can push him off.
Okay.
Let's see. 17?
Its AC is 12.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that is enough.
37. 10 points of damage.
Okay.
How's its health looking?
Well, in whale form, it has 64 hit points left. But it doesn't really matter because your Eldritch Blast, it doesn't so much shove as this. It's a whale. So it kind of rolls and falls off the side of the mountain and bounces all the way down. Shit.
I so enjoyed the other dice 6 roll, I wanted to repeat it.
Hold on here.
I was prepared for a much more intensive fight.
It was really hard not to laugh as soon as I came up with the idea.
I was setting myself up to like get Spirit Guardians up and running. Like I was getting ready for the long fight.
And then whale.
Whale.
So, it is no longer a whale. And as soon as the whale part of it dies and it turns back into a chimera.
All the excess is applied to Chimera.
Except that a chimera can fly.
But it's at the bottom of the mountain now.
Right.
But that's assuming it can stop itself in mid-roll as it's going down the hill.
Yeah, I'm going to make a dexterity check for the chimera. Oh, the chimera fails its dexterity check and falls to its death at the bottom of the 12,000 steps. And
Yay!
dies ingloriously.
I mean, I would imagine that after you get turned from a whale back to yourself and you're falling, that would be a bit disorienting.
Mm-hmm.
Much as the whale in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy
Yeah.
experienced.
Yes. Yes. So,
I was hoping to beat my 344 points of damage last time, but it was an attempt.
Well, considering that was very little sync cost to make that happen, I'd say it's worth it.
Good return on polymorph.
so there is, you guys loot you of course are going to check out the Chimera's den. You find 120 copper pieces, 45 silver pieces, 6 gemstones worth 100 each, a torn-up suit of gnome-sized leather armor with a tiny Electrum music box. And the music box is worth 50 gold pieces. And it's tucked inside one of the many pockets.
I thought that was like stuck to the armor like one of those like music shirts.
Right? You
So the
find...
music box is worth 50 gold?
Yes.
And that was stuck in a what?
It's in one of the many pockets of a torn-up suit of leather armor that's sized for a gnome.
That's not going to be useful.
You find a dagger with an obsidian blade that's worth 75 gold pieces.
Does obsidian have any benefits to it?
No.
It's pretty.
You find a gold-plated helm studded with gems and topped with a tiny golden anvil. It is worth 750 gold pieces. And, but wait, there's more.
Oh.
Let's see. Wow, 3 of them. Okay. Table B. You get 3 rolls on magic item table B. So who wants to make a percentage roll?
How much was the loose change money?
There is 120 copper pieces, 45 silver pieces, and 6 gemstones worth 100 gold pieces each.
Okay.
I got a 94.
94. You find a potion that looks like a potion of healing. Make an Arcana check.
That sounds ominous. Let's see, Arcana. 9.
So, I mean, this potion looks like a potion of healing. You're assuming...
Look at it.
Can I wave it around and be like, anybody know what this is?
Yeah. Anybody else
Okay.
want to try an Arcana
I
check?
think said action.
Steve will look at it.
Thank you, Steve.
Arcana, you say?
0 bonus, but I rolled a net 20.
Okay.
16.
So,
Beats me.
Steve and Scaly, this concoction looks, smells, and tastes like a potion of healing or other beneficial potion. However, it is actually a potion of poison masked by illusion magic. If you drink it, you take 3d6 poison damage, and you must succeed on a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or be poisoned. So, you can't put it on a weapon, but if it is drank, it'll do the damage.
Sweet.
You can offer it to a prisoner under interrogation. This will make you feel better.
Yes.
Does anybody want to hold that, or do you want me to put it to the side in the party kitty?
Oh, and not only that, at the start of each of your turns while you were poisoned in this way, you take 3d6 poison damage. At the end of each of your turns, you can repeat the saving throw. On a successful save, the poison damage you take on your subsequent turns decreases by 1d6. The poison ends when the damage decreases to 0.
Yeah, because I can put that with the spice sack.
I think that you should hold it on the party kitty.
That's the kind of thing you accidentally drop, and the enemy picks up and tries to use.
Possibly, yeah.
I think we should give it to the rogue so he can maybe do a deception check and trick a village chief into smoking a healing potion.
It's a peace offering, I swear.
Who wants to make the next roll?
Clitoris rolled a 69.
60. Of course, Clitoris did.
Yep.
This is a very bizarre one. Let's see here.
So the thief was taking the potion then? So with the...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will not write it down then.
What was it called? What was the name of the thing?
Potion of poison.
Oh, that's a great name.
But make sure to write down that it looks like healing.
In another campaign, once my monk became immune to poison, I wanted a potion belt that was half poison and half healing, so if anybody stole from me, they had a 50-50 chance of killing themselves.
Oh, that's dope.
But if I accidentally drank it, it just didn't heal me. There was no risk to me.
So, Clitoris finds a glass jar 3 inches in diameter that contains 5 doses of a thick mixture that smells faintly of aloe. The jar and its contents weigh a ½ pound.
Isn't that a Kyogian's ointment or something?
That it is. As an action, 1 dose of the ointment can be swallowed or applied to the skin. The creature that receives it regains 2d8 plus 2 hit points, ceases to be poisoned, and is cured of any disease.
Also works really good on as a facial.
Yeah, it's 5 doses of Kyodom's ointment.
It's an anti-mummy jar.
Yes. And who wants to make the last roll?
I say Scaly since it was his shenanigans.
The killer whale reward is scrolling. Here we go.
Worth it.
23, whatever that means.
You find another potion. It is
Potion of Tickle.
roll a d10.
Okay.
No, a D5.
3.
You find a potion of fire resistance. When you drink this potion, you gain resistance to fire damage for 1 hour. So, yeah, 1 hour. You would take half damage from fire for 1 hour.
Anybody else have particularly used or frontliner for versus dragons or stuff?
Or,
I'm good. I already have
giants that we're
resistance
about
to fire.
What was that, Weedon?
I mean, we're about to go fight some fire giants, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a fortuitous roll.
Clitoris?
Do you want potion of fire resistance?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
That would be useful for most frontline persons.
Cool.
That was actually a pretty good little haul on loot.
Yeah.
Back to town.
And all we had to do was push it off the side.
So, the question then, of course, is do you want to go up to the front gates of this village, or do you want to try to cross the bridge? Anybody? Anybody?
I don't make party decisions. I just join in.
Let's see.
I won't go over the wall, but I'll fly up so I can peek over the wall and just see what the other side of that gate looks like. Okay, what's going on over here?
Okay. So are you're going up and looking over this wall right where you're at? Is that your plan, or?
There we go. No, mute. I'm gonna go over there to like around to the corner so I can get a good view of everything. Like, hey, what's going on over here? Like a nosy Karen.
Okay, so
I mean, kind of being sneaky about it, just kind of peeking.
okay, so you look over, you see that there are a number of these Yakfolk, and these guys are armed. And the guys that you see walking around in the burlap sacks, they do have chains on their ankles and wrists and neck. They do not look to be in very good condition. Like these people seem to be fairly malnourished. Hold on here.
Do they seem like they're on alert considering we just fought a chimera right outside the door?
So, yes. Let's see.
I imagine they heard that. Or they're like, and that happens every day.
Hold on here.
It's always come down here, you people.
Okay, hold on. Perfect. Yeah, so the Yakfolk that you're seeing up over the wall are all carrying. They're armed with great swords, and when they look up and they see you peeking over the wall, and then these Yakfolk warriors kind of cheer you, and they're like, yeah, yeah, and yeah, they're armed with great swords and longbows, and this Yakfolk over here is pointing and says, "Oh, the chief would like to meet you, the great saviors of our village."
Alrighty then. Hey guys, it's safe.
And he's pointing like telling you to cross the bridge.
I think they want to buy us a plate of hay for our troubles.
You might want to stay away from the milk.
Right? It's super fresh.
My wife made it this morning.
Tableside service.
So you come up to this front gate, and the gate has been opened, and you see that there is a Yakfolk standing here that is kind of flanked by a warrior and a female Yak folk that she is she's dressed in, I'm sorry, these guys aren't medium, they are large. They kind of almost look like minotaurs. And she's dressed more in like religious finery, like you would expect, like a shaman. She's got a quarterstaff that's got some thongs tied to feathers on it and beads that rattles when she shakes it. And the guy in the front, he's flanked by another one of these Yakfolk warriors. But the guy in the very front, he makes a grand gesture and he says, "The heroes of our village are welcome inside my walls. My name is Karthakaya. Please join us. We shall feast in your honor." What? Are you guys just walking in? What are you doing?
Well, it would be rude to turn down a feast in our honor, so.
And I'm hungry.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Hold on here. So he leads you over to his hut, which is the biggest hut in the middle of the village. And inside, oops, I don't have a map of the hut. But there is, inside, you see that there is another female dressed in the religious finery, a priestess. And he says, "Oh, allow me to introduce you to my wives. One of the Yakfolk priestesses is named Imbiru. The other is Nahala. And my wives also act as my advisors." And you also see that in the hut, there are, and they are completely naked, there are 3 elves, a female and 2 males. And he doesn't introduce them at all. They're helping to serve food. And the tables, to the Yakfolk, the tables are low, like they have to sit, cross-legged on the floor. To you guys, because they're made for large folk, they're like chest height, and they're way over the head of a weebin. And they offer you a fermented milk concoction that sounds as, it probably tastes just as hideous as it sounds. And then they also offer you large leafy salad bowl type vegetables. And they tell you, they're like, "Oh, well," Karthakaya said, "Well, why have you come to our village? Did you come strictly to rid us of that terrible chimera?"
No.
What can my humble people do for you?
Aren't we on the way to find the fire giants?
Anybody?
Aren't we on the way to find the fire giants?
Yeah. I mean, what do you want to tell them?
Do they know where the fire giants are?
Oh, the fire giants are Deep below us, we have heard rumblings from down below. It appears that they have reignited their forge, or they are doing some work. Anybody?
I see Billy's mic going off, but no sound.
Yeah, same. I was going to say the same thing. We have this great helmet that clearly belonged to one of them, and we'd like to return it. How do we bird?
Are you talking about the helmet that you found in
the forge on the top? I'm guessing it's connected to the forge that's underground.
Oh, that has the tiny anvil on it?
Yeah.
So the helmet is actually it is actually a medium-sized helmet. So
maybe it's a baby helmet for a giant.
a baby fire giant. He looks it over and he says, "Oh, this looks to be of dwarven manufacture." Meanwhile, the naked elves are walking around serving food.
Hold on, the slaves are elves?
There are 3 completely naked elves, 2 males and a female, that are serving food and moving around the hut. And they all 3 of them are avoiding eye contact with you. They have said nothing.
Your people are enslaved.
I'm sorry, what was that?
His people are enslaved. He wants to be an elf, right? Or he's an elf, right?
I want to be an elf, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to engage one of the elves. Let me roll a dice 6 here. Elf number, the first elf that I saw. I'm going to start talking to him.
So it's the female elf. What are you asking her?
How did you get here? What is your job like? I saw a merchant elf once. Is that what you do? I'm not clever. I'm just interested.
She says, so you kind of know about elves. You recognize that these 3 are moon elves. And she looks up and she says, there are many elf merchants. My name is Halani. She says, make a perception check.
Notes, save, perception. Here we go. Oh, that's good enough. 23.
So as she says the next thing, you notice that she's still looking at the floor, but she looks out the corner of her eye at the Yakfolk chief, Kayakawa, and she says, our jobs here are pleasant. We are treated well.
How much do you get paid?
She starts to answer that, and Chief Kayakawa says, oh, well, they are here as our guests.
Isn't she wearing chains?
No, she's just completely naked.
Oh. I guess it was the other people in the fields that were wearing chains or something.
You now confirm how little body hair elves actually have.
You should ask them what union represents them.
Yeah. Start unionization of the Amazon staff. Well, again, I'm fairly thick, so I'm just engaging her like, yeah, but she said they work here and they are treated well, so I'm just asking her about her duties and crap.
Okay. She gives very little, she says very little in response. She tells you her name is Holani, and you learn that the other 2 male elves are Jevin and Vandar. And, every time she starts to give a little bit more information, Karthakaya kind of interjects and says, "Oh, well, they're guests," or she and her companions enjoy being here, and he makes some statement like, elves naturally don't wear very much clothing, so we allow them to be comfortable.
I've decided to choose my new favorite elf, and I'm curious if I can hire
her. She says, you would have to work out some kind of arrangement with the chief.
Well, I thought you were here of your own free will. Why would his opinion matter?
We've been watching all this with like extra cringiness, like just getting ready to fight, like knowing something about the flop flop.
Hold on just a moment.
Yeah, like to Thetaris, I'm like, we can handle this after we handle the giant thing. So get through that fight first. And these can't.
Clitoris agrees and disagrees.
I'm mad.
Hold on, I'm trying to find.
Stink is just irritated that everybody's so obsessed with the nakedness. So Stink's just standing in the corner rolling her eyes.
I'm having a long ponder on what the value could be and what I might propose, but I tell her, I've got this other thing downstairs, but I'll come back and we'll wrap this up another day.
Okay.
Are you not pondering if you're supposed to be naked now too?
She's the only naked elf I've witnessed, so I don't take it as rote yet.
Who?
Plus, I'm a lizard folk. I'm kind of just wearing a shield, so.
Anybody who has eaten the food, make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, Weeben didn't touch the food.
He's a stoner.
Weeben did not touch that shit.
Especially the curdled fermented milk.
Clitoris got a 4.
You know things don't bode well when the paladin gets a 4 on a con save.
Yeah.
Paladin got food poisoning.
Well, I'm immune to
I feel like
disease, if that helps.
Weeben used to be like an orphan on the streets and stuff, so he's probably immune to food poisoning, but you know.
Yeah, I can cure myself with some lay hands.
Steve's used to eating weird shit. He got a 19.
Okay. Anybody else eat the food?
I'm used to raw and the scavenging. I got a 22.
Okay.
Tastes a bit gamey.
For lettuce, yeah.
Just give this E. coli.
So you guys are sitting there and you're watching Scaly and Steve and Clitaris eating the food. You guys are just kind of looking at it and kind of, like Zinquinal said, nobody seems to be bothered that there's naked elves. I know that their clothing is generally pretty wispy as it is, but I mean, come on.
No, but she's annoyed that everyone is so obsessed with the naked elves.
Oh.
She thinks it's no big deal, and she doesn't understand why everyone is so focused on the fact that, like, ooh, naked elves, ooh. She's more like, guys, get over it. Put on your big kid pants. Let's go.
I don't think it's so much as ooh, it's more of like why. Like there's something weird.
Zinquinal, make an intelligence check. Ooh. So, the thought occurs to Zinquinal that, naked elves are unarmed elves and probably not going to make it down the mountain without any clothing to protect them from the elements. So, that's, them being naked is kind of a part of their captivity, more or less. It's more of a slight guarantee. But as you're sitting there watching Steve, Scaly, and Clitaris chow down on their leafy veggies, you see Clitaris just lean forward and pass out, and her forehead hits the table. Steve and Scaly, you feel a little bit drowsy, but not much else.
I thought this tasted a little taggarty.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna go refill my mug of cider.
Okay.
Didn't we
Like it of me.
just get something anti-poisony that we could give Clitaris?
Quite the opposite. They give us something that's very poisony.
Right, but there were 3 things.
Oh, right.
One of them
One
was
of them
a solve you could eat that I'm fairly certain reversed poison.
Yeah, I have that. I also have that in hands that reduces poison.
We'll just pick her hand up and slap herself.
Yeah, be fine. You guys don't need a paladin right now, right?
It seems like it's pretty easily undone.
I got a wand of lightning bolt that'll wake you up. Better than Folgers in your cup.
So I can just use my staff and light bonk on the head and cast Lesser Restoration on you.
Well, something. I'd rather not become a naked elf.
Doesn't the Clitaris become most effective when not covered?
Fair point.
Even going, I knew these people were trouble. Although years on the streets taught me not to trust nobody.
Come on, we killed a Chimera in a turn and a half. I think we're fine.
Nobody's scared of a herd of cows.
We do have a knack for winning battles in ways that are likely. How did we just do that?
Okay, so you guys see Clitaris, her head hit the table and go blank. So Scaly, you're gonna do Lesser Restoration on her?
Yeah, just like mid-chomp, I just like lean over with my staff and touch her and see if Lesser Restoration helps.
Okay.
In the commotion, Weeben would like to do a stealth check to kind of slip around unnoticed.
Okay, hold on just a moment here.
Well, looking at that turn order, it looks like we're having steak for dinner tonight.
Hey guys, this is fortuitous. Have you looked at the price of beef?
I called dibs on the ribeye.
Have we rolled initiative yet?
Not yet. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm finding out where they fall in the stack. She didn't do very good. All right. Now, whoops, shit. Now everybody roll initiative. Man, Zinquinol is just on fire with initiatives.
Well, the two of us that wanted nothing to do with the food are prepared.
Right? Weebin with the big 22.
Check out the big 22 on Weebin.
Really, Cleitaris? Jesus. Okay, I was going to be like, 1? What?
I mean, she did just wake up from being passed out.
That's true.
Well, that was Steve. He slipped. Hit that enter instead of 3. Come all the way down to the bottom.
So, with Cleitaris hitting her head, the surprise round that you get is because they were expecting everybody to pass out. But Scaly reaches over and touches... Let me fix this a bit.
He's touching Clitoris with a stick there.
Yeah.
Gently.
He touches Cleitaris and throws a lesser restoration on her, waking her up. And you see Chief Karthakaya draw his greatsword, and you realize that this is actually a flame tongue greatsword. And he yells out, "Get them! We'll add to our slave pens." Weebin, what would you like to do?
I would like to make that stealth check now.
Mm-hmm.
17.
Okay. So, Weebin, you kind of duck down under the table, and the Yakfolk have lost track of you. You are hidden.
Excellent. I would like to go right up to the chief and get him, just unload on him if I can.
Sure. And because he is within 5 feet of Steve the Devil, your sneak attack applies.
Well, one of them was a nat 20.
Well, that means double damage on everything.
Oh, hey. This will be fun. Okay, so let's get the D8 first.
Fuck him up.
That's not so great.
Yeah, that's right. Next time you won't piss off our halfling. That's not something you usually hear.
I got this.
So did you guys hear the other announcements? So not only did Wizards buy D&D Beyond from Fandom, but they also are... So there's three new things coming out. The first one is a new adventure anthology, which looks like it could be interesting. The big one is that in August, in a box set, they are finally releasing the campaign setting for Spelljammer. And it's going to have a bunch of new races. And then the other one... What was the other one? Oh, they are releasing a campaign for Dragonlance. So, there could be a Dragonlance adventure on our horizon.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played in Dragonlance since, like, my freshman year in high school. You did 46 points of damage? Ouch.
We're doing
The sneak attack helps a lot.
right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You said we're doing Dragon Heist next?
Correct.
Yeah, I was watching some D&D videos, so I now know who like the main bad guy of that is. So like that's been spoiled.
Yeah, well, there's multiple paths to get there, so yeah.
The only thing I'm gonna say is my goal is to steal his fish.
Well, that's assuming that he's the main bad guy, because there are different seasons, so it'll just depend. There are actually maybe 4 or 5 different quote unquote main villains. So it just depends on the time of year that you're doing it. So that was Weebin's action. Weebin bonus action?
I thought the hide was my bonus.
Oh, you are correct, sir. Did you want to move at all? Because you're no longer hidden with stabbing him like that.
So, where is he? Which one of these is he?
He's right there.
Okay. So I was...
I mean, we're kind of eyeballing this because there's no internal map for the hut, so, you know.
Okay, fair enough.
You know, probably like 1/4 of it's map and the 3/4 of it is theater of the mind.
Okay, cool. So I do a little run up, just wreck him with my rapier real quick, and then while he's going, what the hell is that? I'm gonna kind of slip behind my lizard folk friend over here.
Okay.
I'll slip between Clitoris and him since they're next to each other on the table. I'll just hide between their legs now.
Okay. He's going to make an attack of opportunity. Ugh. Fuck. So he misses completely, and his flame tongue greatsword cuts the table in half. And you kind of roll out between Clitoris and Scaly, and you duck behind Scaly. Zinquinol, what would you like to do?
I would like to cast Moonbeam, right in between those 3, so I can hit them all.
Okay.
There.
Go for it.
Let's see, that is a con 15.
So let's see. That is a priestess, the chief, and a warrior. The priestess gets a nat 20.
Okay.
The warrior... Shit on me. Gets a 21. And the chief gets a soft 20.
Okay, so all half.
Okay.
So, what is that? Is that 7 or 8?
7.
7.
So...
And then I'm going to hit the chief with my magic hammer.
Okay, hold on just a second here.
But that was an 11, so I probably missed.
Okay. No, you hit.
Oh, nice.
So let me throw a magic spiritual weapon on him for another 7.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Now, can my divine strike? How often do I get to use that? It doesn't on my sheet. It doesn't say a number of uses.
Let me see
So
here.
this is once or.
So that's part of your channel divinity, right?
I have no. It is part of being a level 8 Twilight Cleric.
Twilight Cleric. Twilight Cleric's out of Tasha's, is that correct?
Tasha's.
Okay.
It's just listed under other.
Let's see here.
It says once on each of your turns, I can deal an extra D8 of radiant.
Yeah. Once on each of your turns. Shit, I thought that would have been a part of your channel divinity, but that's
Maybe that's I only added one, but one is better than none. I wonder if it's since like I'll never get to have 2 attacks.
Probably, yeah.
Then I get to just add a D8 since I don't get another attack.
Right.
Alright, so it's just one more.
Okay.
And as far as move, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. That was quite effective. Scaly, what would you like to do?
Are there any of the oh, sorry, I think my mic's
No,
wonky.
you're good. I hear you.
Okay. Are any of the slaves in the vicinity of the yaks, or are they on the periphery?
They have moved to the periphery.
Okay, wall of fire.
Okay. Where do you want to do the wall of fire?
Whoops, that's a shape. That's not what I want. Draw freehand. There we go. Like that.
Okay. So let's see here.
And the inside is hot.
Yes. It looks like you'll get all of them. So do they...
Dexterity saving throw. Let's get this on the sheet. Wow, crappy rolls on 5-8, but...
Yakfolk Warrior gets a 6. The Chief gets a 12. And the 2 Priestesses, one gets an 11. The other gets a nat 20.
Okay, then I will, is there a door on, or an opening of the hut that I can still see through?
Yes, there is a door like right here.
Okay, I'll go out the door and vertically to the extent that I can still see the firewall.
So like 5, you can rise up like 10 feet to still see the firewall. From the outside, you can see that the roof is starting to like catch fire.
Well, I can limit the height of the wall if the hut's too low.
Well, it's not. Well, yeah. I mean, you can limit, but what I'm saying is that from the outside, you can't. If you rise up higher than like 10 feet, you can't see the firewall because you're above the doorway.
Right. Okay. So I'll just stay floaty there and keep an eye on things inside.
Okay. Chief Karthakaya. Well, he's not going to be dumb enough to stay in the firewall and the moonbeam. But he's in the moonbeam now, so he starts his turn there. Well, he already took damage. He is going to... Oops. He moves out of the firewall to the periphery where the 3 elf slaves are. And he swings his Flame Tongue Great Axe and decapitates one of the male elves. And he's going to do it again. Ooh. He then brings the Great Axe around and cleaves the second male elf in two. So the two male elves are dead. And Holani, the female elf, is cowering in fear.
Does he end his turn within 10 feet of that wall? He takes another 5d8.
He's within 10 feet of the wall.
So another 26 points and a dex save.
Well, he's dead. He burns to death. Clitaris, what would you like to do?
Well, I mean, I was gonna go, like, beat the guy that was poisoning us, but, he was a little preoccupied right now.
He's dead.
That's pretty preoccupied.
Sounds like we shouldn't stay near the fire.
Yeah.
Go get the elf and run away.
Go get the what?
Go get the living elf and run away. Let him cook.
I could do that. The elfie people are over here?
Yes.
Only one is left.
One's no-headed, and one's half-bodied.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go grab whoever's left and then leave the tent with them.
Okay. So, go ahead and make just an attack roll, and you're hitting AC 5.
Uh, 14.
So roll your damage.
7.
Which is enough. You bring your sword down and you basically cut a hole in the side of this hut and are able to make your way out with the female elf.
So, hey, has everyone left the hut?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Steve's still there.
Okay.
Outside,
Make sure we don't leave the sword behind. I want the sword if no one else wants it.
so outside, before you guys, well, so Jeff and Clitaris, you both witnessed this. Up here, there is a small farmstead, and there are a number of slaves working with this Yakfolk warrior, or they were. This Yakfolk warrior goes around and starts killing slaves. The same thing happens to the south down here, and you're imagining that this is probably taking place everywhere. They are killing their slaves rather than allowing them to be freed. And this Yakfolk warrior right here is going to shoot his longbow at Scaly. $16 to hit. Does 16 hit, Scaly?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, 16 hits.
Okay, and his second attack misses. 4. Oof. 16 points of piercing damage. Let's see here. This Yakfolk warrior is going to get out of the moonbeam and the fire and move up here, and he is going to swing his greatsword on Weeben.
So wall of fire, if he starts his turn in the zone.
Okay, how much damage does he take?
Hold on. I'm just reading to be sure of the sequence. When I cast it, they take damage.
I thought it was at the end of their turn.
When it enters the wall or ends its turn there. Yes, you're correct. I just wanted to be sure, the sequencing of these things.
Okay. So his first swing is a miss with a total of 8 on Weeben. Second attack on
Did he
Weeben.
go through the wall or around the wall?
He went through the wall.
Oh, he takes damage for that, yeah. When it enters the wall on a turn or ends its turn there. So yeah, he takes 5d8 for pushing through the wall. 22 points.
Okay. Yep. Okay. And his second swing on Weeben is a 16 to hit.
Wait, I'm being attacked?
Yes.
When did I miss? What was the first attack?
First attack was 4.
Okay. I was like, what did I miss?
Does 16 hit you?
16?
Yeah.
16 does not.
Okay, he misses. Let's see here. Trying to find all of my Yakfolk. Is that all of them? Oh, yeah, I forgot about those. On Nahela's turn, she...
Is that the elf?
No. Nahela, the Yakfolk priest...
Oh.
Cletaris, you get an attack of opportunity. If you want.
Yes, I do want.
$13 to hit?
That hits.
Yeah.
Would I get sneak attack?
No. Wait, yes, because you are swashbuckler, so yeah.
Cool. Can I also throw a smite on this?
Well, wait a minute. When did you go? Hold on. That's the question. Oh, well, you didn't use sneak attack on your turn, so yeah, you could do it now.
Yeah. Can I throw a smite on this too?
Yes, you can.
Cool. Uh, 19 damage.
Okay. All right, so you whack her, and she comes running out of the hole that you made, runs past you, and you whack her. And then she, so as a bonus action, I should have this practically memorized by now. She casts Spiritual Weapon on you. And she's going to attempt to whack you with the Spiritual Weapon. I think she fucks that up. Yeah, she screws that up with a 13.
Uh-huh.
And then... she casts Sacred Flame on you. You need to make a DC 14 Dexterity saving throw. And I guess Halani needs to do that too. Oh, Halani failed as well. So both you and Halani take 5 points of radiant damage.
Oh, Paladin got burned by radiant damage.
I know. Ironic. This one, you're out of reactions.
And starting to turn in Moonbeam.
She...
What happened?
You what?
Oh, I just looked like that. The one you pointed to was in Moonbeam, so I was going to get to Moonbeam Mom again. But I did not.
No, it's not her turn yet. So, Steve the Devil, what would you like to do?
Oh, the doorway's still being blocked by that guy, right?
Yep.
Alright, well then Steve will use his movement to just get outside the door.
Okay.
And from there, I can see that this guy up here's killing slaves, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's not very cool. I'm going to use this fancy new wand and hit him with some lightning.
Nice. So he gets
DC 15 for half.
Okay.
That is a discharge that Smokey would get behind.
Yes, he only gets a 12.
Oh, he's going to get a lot of lightning. $10, 15, 20, 23 damage.
Okay. So he doesn't go down. The lightning bolt goes through him and blows a hole in this building. And it's going to kill that boar. But the damage inside releases the boars. And they're boars, so they're pretty much perpetually pissed off. Kind of what boars do. On here. I need some boars. Oh boy, the boars get a 6. Who knew? Boars are not very dexterous.
And as a bonus action, Steve will cast Spirit Shroud.
Okay.
And because it's a warlock, it's being cast at 5th level, so upcasted.
Okay. Spirit Shroud. Is that a Xanathar spell?
Let me see. I believe so. Spirit Shroud deals 1d8 on hit within 10 foot of Necro, Radiant, or Cold, which I choose Necro. Any creature that starts its turn within 10 feet of you reduces its speed by 10 foot.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Your speed's reduced by 10 foot.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And at higher casting, it adds an extra D8 per 2 casters.
Okay, hold on. I need to.
Yeah. Damage?
No, it's only if I hit you.
It is not in Xanathar's.
Tasha's 108.
Okay.
Tasha's 108.
Okay.
It's a level 3 spell.
So it's cast on you.
Yeah, it's a
Gotcha.
10-foot radius off of me.
Okay, so you cast Spirit Shroud on yourself.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
Sorry, I was going to go out the front door, but it was locked. Do what?
Is there any movement or anything that you want to do?
Nope, that was max movement, bonus, and main.
Okay.
So that is all Steve can do.
So out of the out of this barn, these boars come running. There's a boar. Nope, he can't quite make it. There's a boar. There's a boar. So one boar is going to take 1d8 worth of damage. So Steve, go ahead and roll your d8.
D8 for what?
For Spirit Shroud, because the boar is within 5 feet of you.
No, Spirit Shroud is if I hit them.
Oh, okay.
My hits.
I thought
if they're next to me, it just reduces speed.
Okay. So, yeah, he's going to attack you. Let's see here. And he's going to do a charge. So, he's using his tusks. $19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. So, you take 8 points of slashing damage, and you need to make
You just got bored.
Yeah, you need to make a DC 11 strength saving throw, or be knocked prone.
Oh, come on, big money. Ew. Yeah, 5's not helping.
Okay, so Steve is prone.
And the 8 points come off my temporary hit points, so I'm still fine.
Now Imbiru is going to not stay there, and she's going to come running out. Steve, since you have a reaction, you can make a attack of opportunity if you would like.
Oh, sure.
Doesn't she take her moonbeam starting damage?
Is it if she starts in the moonbeam or ends?
Moonbeam, I believe it starts. Yeah, when a creature enters the space for the first time or starts its turn there.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your moonbeam damage. It's not going to kill her, so.
I only got a 13 for my rollers, so I doubt that hits.
Nice, 22.
Okay. I'm sorry, what'd you get, Steve?
13.
The 13 hits.
Nice. So that's going to be 10. And 8.
I imagine Nahala, the Yakfolk priest, is voluptuous, so she has quite large udders.
That's gonna be 24 points of damage.
Ooh. Okay, so Nahala doesn't make it all the way out of the hut in one piece, and literally is cut in half by Steve, and kind of sloppily, like guts and all, slides towards Imbiru. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and break here, and we will pick up next week on Weeben's turn.
Cool.
All right.
Yay.
Welcome to the Yakfolk village.
Destruction!
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one, guys. I will see you next week.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Good game.